Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. And thanks so much for joining us in this month's edition of the Red Talks. We are so excited to have Tammy Lee join us and anxious to hear her story. And I just want to say welcome to all of you. Red Wing Ignite, the host of Red Talks, is an innovation center. We're located here in Red Wing, Minnesota. We serve Red Wing, Goodhue County, and the surrounding communities and throughout Southeast Minnesota. Our mission is to support entrepreneurs in whatever way we are able to, through education, mentoring, funding, technical assistance funding, and we also have a reach within workforce development, working with students, advanced manufacturers, and we also partner along with Minnesota College Southeast with our makerspace. So wonderful things happening at Red Wing Ignite. We look forward to at some point sharing more about those offerings that we have. But for now, I am going to turn this over to Shannon Harris. Oh, my name, by the way, is Stacy Nimmo. And I'm going to turn this over now to Shannon, and she's going to talk just a little bit more about Red Talks and then introduce you to our guest for today.
Thanks, Stacy. Hi, everyone. We're so excited that you're here with us today. And for those of you that will be watching this recording at a later date, welcome as well. This is our Red Talk series. We have been doing this actually since the winter of 2020, pre-pandemic. We started this as part of the Big Turn Music Festival with Sam Brown and his crew. We had a couple panels here at the building and it went really well. That was in February. And as we all know, the pandemic hit. And we just decided to try and figure out what to do with this. Should we make this a regular thing? What should it mean? What should it stand for? So it officially kicked off in May of 2020 as Reinvention Entrepreneurship and Determination. Hearing stories from the entrepreneurs that have a connection to Red Wing or Red Wing Ignite. And there are so many of them. Our area is just filled with innovative, determined, creative, successful entrepreneurs of all shapes and sizes. And so we've had a really good time. This is, I don't do math real well on my feet, maybe 13th, 14th month of having this hour to visit with different really entrepreneurial leaders from around our area. So very excited to have Tammy Lee with us today. And as you were all made aware when you saw Tammy's bio, when you registered, she's the current founder and CEO of Xena Therapies, which is a company based right here in Red Wing, Minnesota. So we're really, really thrilled about that. So Tammy, I'm going to turn it over to you and ask you, the first question is, how the heck did you get here to this very place at this very moment? Something obviously happened between high school graduation and today. So tell us a little bit about your professional path.
Yeah, so I started out my career in TV news and then crossed over to politics and was an airline executive for probably 15 years, worked in the airline and travel industry, and then ended up in medtech after the Northwest Delta merger. Worked as CEO of a company that did gene editing in St. Paul, gene edited animals to find cures for human diseases, and then just really fell in love with the healthcare space. So after leaving Recombinetics, I got recruited to come learn about a company based in Red Wing that was making products using phase change material. So there was a company down there that was based there that had employees that knew how to make high quality, durable products using phase change material. I'm wearing one of them. I'm wearing the OnyxCool wrap, which we make for women who are going through menopause or have MS. But that company did not succeed. They didn't have the right capital, didn't have the right business plan. So after they shut their doors in December of 2020, I got financing on my own to launch the company with a whole new array of products. And so I got the financing in January of 2020 and then launched the company in February. Our manufacturing plant is in Red Wing. And then of course the pandemic hit. So we ended up having to close the plant down, and we've been able to operate kind of doing just-in-time manufacturing as we've got orders coming back in. So we survived the pandemic, I'm thrilled to say, and now we're looking to grow our operations in Red Wing.
You're on mute, you're on mute. Of all the places you can manufacture and have a home base, why Red Wing? Why stay here? Why choose here?
Yeah, so when I got the bank financing, I really could have put the company anywhere. I'm actually doing this webinar from a spa room in my home in Hopkins, and we've got a site at Modern Well up in Minneapolis too, where we have our products and the warms pod that I'll talk about. But the reason that we're still in Red Wing and why I started the company from scratch again in Red Wing is really because of the people and the talent there. We had people that are retired from Rydell Skates and Red Wing Shoe that really know how to make high quality, durable products. So as everybody around the state is struggling to find manufacturing talent, Red Wing is just the perfect place to manufacture high quality, durable goods. So that's why Red Wing. And I get a lot of windshield time. I get 70 minutes in my car going to and from Red Wing to really think about where we want to take the company, do phone calls and other things. And I will tell you, great base of employees there. We couldn't have managed through the pandemic without them.
Why do I keep muting myself? That is really the question of the afternoon. So the pandemic obviously had a significant impact when you couldn't be in operation, but a lot of businesses we've talked to, there have been some real positive things that came out of the pandemic for their company. So can you talk to us just a little bit of beyond that about what COVID-19 did for or didn't do for your company and your employees?
Well, what I love about the acronym for Red Talks, reinvention, entrepreneurship, determination, 2020 and the pandemic was really a year of reinvention. Even though I'd only been in business for a couple of months, we had to really rethink our business plan because our products, whether they're for women going through menopause or people that have sports injuries in our Onyx line, we were intending to sell into medical facilities. And of course, with the pandemic, all of those businesses were closed for any outside vendors or new products. So we had to get creative. We got our products up on Amazon.com, Walmart.com, and we were able to land some really amazing national promotions. So our products were on Good Morning America. We've been on The View. We've been on QVC. So for a little company in Red Wing, we've done okay getting the word out nationally. So that's the whole thing about reinvention, entrepreneurship, determination. We just weren't going to give up during the pandemic. We weren't going to let COVID kill our company. And we survived it. And we're now really hoping that things are going to get back on track so that we can begin to grow and not just kind of limp our way to survive and continue to grow the company.
That's really exciting. That's some really good progress and some wonderful news your team should be very proud of. Can you tell us a little bit about who you employ, the number of people, the kinds of positions?
Yeah, so we mostly all manufacturing jobs. We started out with about 10 people. Now we kind of only bring in like 3 or 4, 6 at a time, depending on how big the factory run is. We're hoping in September, we've got some really big things in the pipeline. We'd like to get back up to, 8 to 10 employees. That's a pretty manageable number for our company. Everybody in the company can literally do pretty much every job. We have people that are better than some jobs than others, but I spent most of my career as an airline executive and lobbyist working on Capitol Hill, and now I punch out gal pals, which are cooling bra inserts. I empty the trash. I can run the RF machine, the fill machine. So all of us in the company can do pretty much every job. Everybody's been trained from branding the products to punching out products on the clicker cutter. So everybody is really kind of multi-talented, multifaceted, but they all have the same hard work ethic and feel really passionate about the products that we're making.
So a lot of what you described isn't always the most glamorous of jobs and probably very different than dealing with a Northwest Delta merger in the corporate world. So what about being an entrepreneur interested you, and like what about it, really drives you? What about that? Because it's very different than having kind of a whole fleet of people around you and making a large company run smoothly. So tell us about why you're interested in the entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, when you're like a corporate officer in a big company like Northwest and Delta, you've got spending authority for, depending on your division and your title, for $1 million to $10 million. You've got a lot of latitude. And a company this size, you want to worry about every $10 or every $100 that you're spending in the company. But it's also really empowering, and you get to chart your own course. So the ability to make products, to bring products to the market that somebody else probably wouldn't take the risk doing, and the ability to work with great people. I get to pick every person that I work with. And so you choose the kind of people and the kind of work that you want to do. And yeah, taking out the trash isn't glamorous, and I am the one that cleans the bathrooms. And on the days when restaurants were closed during the pandemic, I brought in, food in a crock pot in the kitchen. So it's really kind of fun. We do it all there, but the team there is just amazing, and they're also willing to do anything and everything to help the company.
It can be very nurturing, I find, having been and still am an entrepreneur. There's something very intimate about building that core group and that really family of employees. And I don't think there's probably anything quite like it. There's obviously pros and cons to the larger, more corporate environment, but that was a really, really nice description that you gave. Thank you. So I want to go back to something that's in your bio, just because I know a lot of people who are listening are going to be excited to hear what you say about this. But one of the things that you specify on there was raising that $34 million Series A. Now, obviously, so many people that we work with here at Recombinetics and in our region, at some point in time in their journey, have to go out and look for money, significant money, to advance their ideas. So, any advice or just feedback you would give to someone that's having to do that? Because that's a really big deal. It also says something about that stage of your business growth. So, just any insight you would give about that?
Yeah, so it's really the D in determination. If you're out raising capital, you have to be so persistent. When we raised the 34 million for Recombinetics, I think we did 70 investor pitches, and we traveled all over the country, from Silicon Valley to New York to Washington, D.C., Chicago, all over the place, trying to raise capital. And so we got 70 no's before we got a yes. So you have to really be willing to kind of gut it out and believe so strongly in your business and what you're trying to bring to the market that you can take a lot of no's. For this company, I opted not to raise capital and just finance it on my own, which is a different set of challenges. It seemed like a really good idea in January of 2020. I had no idea that I was coming into a global pandemic. So not such a good idea now. However, I'm only responsible to myself at the bank. At Recombinetics, I was responsible to 468 investors on the cap table, and that takes a different level of responsibility because you're using their money. And as a CEO, you have to be accountable to them and make sure that you're spending money in a very judicious way. For me, last week or 2 weeks ago, I made a decision to invest in new tooling and die. So we are not a profitable company yet at this point, given the pandemic and what we've been going through. But I am so bullish on this company that yesterday we started making a brand new product, which I'll show you here. It's a cool vest. And given the manufacture, the challenge of heat stroke that we've seen and the hot temperatures, we just started making this yesterday in the Red Wing plant. So it's really a cool therapy vest that's designed for construction workers, manufacturing, farmers out in California that are experiencing 100+ degree heat, police, firefighters, military. So when you're paying for everything on your own, it's your own checkbook, right? So I made the decision to invest another $15,000 of my own money to be able to create this product and bring it to market. If I worked at a big company, they would say, no way, you're not making any money at this point. But me, I know that this product is going to succeed, so I'm going to continue to invest in growing our company. Same thing for Mother's Day, we launched a brand new product, and I bought new tooling then too. It's an eye mask, a cool therapy eye mask that we make for Opal, and we make it in these 3 colors. And again, I wrote another check for about $8,000 to roll this out in time for Mother's Day, and we sold out the product because it's a great gift idea. So sometimes as an entrepreneur, I think you just have to have it in your gut. You have to believe that it's going to be successful, and maybe not all things will work out, but it's your checkbook. And if you believe it can be successful, then you have the opportunity to invest in it.
Absolutely. So as you're talking us through a number of your products, we definitely have some interest from just people watching and who will watch in the future about how they get their hands on these things that they're going to be so excited to see and hear about.
Yeah, so the Opal Cool Wrap was the signature product that we launched. And this is the one that for women who are going through menopause or who have MS, when the product's fully charged and cool, it has these white cells. And when my body heat has absorbed it, they go back to clear. So these products go in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes and they're ready to go. All of our products are available on opalcool.com or onyxcool.com. But we've also done things where we've had products on The View and Good Morning America and QVC. And this week, actually, just till Friday, we have the Opal eye mask on this website called 40boxes.com. And as of yesterday, we were within 10 eye masks in each color from selling out. So we added another several hundred to the inventory, so we have enough through the weekend. So these eye masks are normally $39, but on 40boxes.com, they're selling for $19 a piece. So they're selling like hotcakes, and we hit their bestseller list with that product. And then we also put the OnyxCool shoulder on there. That's the product that I demoed on QVC that can be used 7 different ways to treat pain. So it can be on your shoulder, but you can also conform it to put on your foot, your ankle, your head. So it's our multiple product. So this too is on the bestseller of 40boxes.com, normally $139, but we're selling it for $69. So we always post these things on our Facebook page and on our Instagram pages when we've got these deals going. But at any point, we tell our friends in Red Wing that anybody from Red Wing can always use the Cool 20 promo and get 20% off. You'll get more off if you're on the 40 Boxes site right now, but any Red Wing person can use a promo code for 20% off with the Cool 20 promo code.
That's really exciting. Can you tell me a little bit about the link with MS and that product?
Yeah, there's actually some research that we published on our site about people who have MS. What happens is they get heat stress very easily. So they lose energy. It's very difficult for them to work out, especially in high humidity and high temperatures. And they just feel this drain of energy all the time. So there has been a lot of research around using cool therapy to get more energy, more endurance when working out. And we actually have a clinical study that we're doing right now with St. Kate's, and I think it's still up on our website, where it's just a questionnaire about quality of life and how cool therapy products can improve your quality of life and endurance. And so for every participant in the study through St. Kate's, and I think they're still enrolling some patients, we give them a free cool wrap. So we also like to get clinical data on our products, not just talk about them, but we put the research behind them. So similar to MS, with menopause, our products have been clinically tested and shown to reduce hot flashes in most women by up to 70%. And how that works is when we're babies, we have all this brown adipose tissue all over our bodies that kind of keep us warm. It's that brown fat tissue that burns and keeps you warm. When we're adults and as we age, those cells kind of shrink and really diminish. So when you're 50, like I am, we have some cells here and we have some right back here. And if you can, it's actually shown that you can use cool therapy to stimulate those brown adipose tissue cells, and that's what counteracts the hot flash. So your hot flash will originate back here, and if you can develop those cells in a healthier way, they'll actually counteract the hot flashes in a way that's drug-free, doesn't use hormone replacement therapy, and you can do it home. So you wear the wrap for an hour in the morning and an hour at night, and women who have menopause or who have gone through breast cancer treatment and can't take hormone replacement therapy also find great relief using the cool wrap. So everything besides, I think, being marketed to women and telling the story in a way that women really embrace, which is natural drug-free therapy, they also really want to know the research and the data behind it. Like you said, why for MS? Why for menopause? There's research that shows that these products work and provide drug-free relief.
And did you say that it's a charge? Is it charged or is it kept in the freezer? You keep it. How do you regenerate your product?
Yeah, so actually I say charge, but I should say recool because you actually just put them in the refrigerator.
Okay.
They recharge in the refrigerator, battery free. But you just put them in the refrigerator for 20 to 30 minutes and then they go back to cool state. That's 58-degree products. We also have products that are in the 80-degree, and people think, well, 80 degrees sounds like it's something warm, but you think about your body, which is 98.6 degrees. So we have products in both Opal and Onyx, like the Cool Pad that you can sleep or lay on. This is the Opal Cool Pad in 80 degrees, and this is an Onyx in our Onyx line. So people lay on this or sleep on it at night. And when you touch it with your hand, it doesn't feel that cool because our fingers aren't as sensitive. But if you sit or lay on it, you get this immediate cool rush that runs through your body. So whenever we have that on Good Morning America or The View, that product always sells out right away. And because it's at 80 degrees, it actually recools itself at room temperature.
Oh,
So
wow.
products do not have to go in the refrigerator or freezer. These will actually get back to cool state at any room temperature that's below 80 degrees. So even when your house is like 70 degrees, these will still feel really, really cool. And that's why we made the new cool vest, the Pro Vest, also in the 80 degree, so that for surgeons in the operating room or people that are working in manufacturing plants, they don't have to put these products in the refrigerator or freezer. They'll recool in the air conditioner in their truck or in room temperature. So we make two different products kind of for two different uses.
Okay. And so what is the primary difference between the three, the Xena Therapies, the Opal, and the OnyxCool? How are those divided or distinguished?
And then one other question too, just kind of piggybacking on that. Those look really lightweight when you hold them up. I'm just curious to know how much do those weigh and what kind of a weight is that adding that vest?
Yes.
And then the comparisons between the different products.
Right. So this one, Stacy, is for the industrial. This is that heavy duty. This is meant for police, firefighters, EMTs, military, manufacturing. That one is heavier, professional athletes. So that weighs just under 5 pounds. But when it's on you, it doesn't feel that heavy because it's got shoulder straps and side straps. So it doesn't feel that heavy. The cool wrap is super light. This is under a pound. So this is like 15 ounces. So you don't even hardly feel this riding around on you. And the cool pad too, this is also just at about a pound, just under a pound. So they're also pretty inexpensive to ship too, and really inexpensive or really light to wear.
When you were just showing the industrial vests for like police and fire, have you used, because you're based in this small community where there's usually pretty good access to social capital, do you test on, I mean, like, do you go to the local fire department or all the local manufacturers and use some of those sources to test your products or get feedback?
So we actually not with these products because there were similar products that were being used before that already had market acceptance, but they just weren't designed as well. The vest and other cool therapy products using phase change material were used by the military back in the 90s in Iraq and Afghanistan. So what we've done is kind of build a better mousetrap or build a better cool therapy product with products that are designed to fit you better, to allow for more active movement. So we've kind of continued to evolve the products as we've redesigned them and brought them into the marketplace.
I would think there would be an incredible demand for that, for all of them, obviously, but that industrial product, when you think about just what the temperatures are doing around the planet, and the number of obviously policemen and firemen and paramedics, I mean, it just seems like the sky is the limit for that particular product for you. So is it like out at market, like the police department could order it tomorrow, Tammy?
Well, we just made the first vest yesterday. Okay. So we were working till like 7 o'clock last night in Red Wing to get the first prototypes done. We have a sheriff's department here in the Twin Cities that is interested in them. So I brought 3 up here to give to them to use them. They have all of the other Onyx products that they've been using. So soon this will be up on our website, but right now there are only about 10 of them that have been made. This is the next big production run. So the timing of this Red Talk was great because we had a brand new product that we're about to bring to the market.
And have you had any challenges? Obviously, the entire supply chain is disrupted around the globe. Has that impacted the materials that you need to manufacture?
Yeah, so tool and die, the metal that we need to actually make the products and get them into these different shapes and designs with the phase change material under the poly with the fabric. The steel and metal and aluminum has greatly increased, so the cost of the tool and die has increased. Fabric costs have gone up by at least 20%, in some cases 30 to 40%. And they're longer lead times. So things that would have only taken 4 weeks now take at least 6 to 8, and it's more expensive.
Yeah, it's been so disruptive to really every industry. So back to back to one of our questions, the difference between Xena Therapies, the Opal, and the OnyxCool. How do certain products go into the different groupings?
Yeah, so Xena Therapies was just a parent umbrella that allowed us to really acquire new medical technologies as we wanted to bring them into the market. And we could have probably put Opal and Onyx together, but The Onyx site is really branded and designed for sports medicine, for orthopedic injuries, for more industrial use. You know, it's got more of a feel that's more masculine. And then the Opal products are really created and tailored to women's health needs. So we went with 2 different brands and 2 different websites, but they're both under Xena Therapies. What Xena Therapies allows us to do is acquire other technologies. So in case people have been wondering what I am standing in front of, looks like
Show it.
a spaceship here. And
Yeah.
actually another technology under Xena Therapies. It's called the Warms Pod, and it's an infrared heat therapy pod. So we've been talking about all the cool products today, which are under XenaCool and Xena Therapies. The Warms Pod, which stands for Wellness and Recovery Metabolic Medical Systems, is really a heat therapy product that we had the medical license to take this product into new markets. So chiropractors, physical therapists will use the pod, and it's gives you all the benefits of a sauna, but without having your heat breathing in hot, humid air. So your head rests comfortably outside of the pod here, and we've got circulating massage, leg bands in here, so you're getting a massage while you're in it, and you can adjust and control the temperature and all kinds of different settings on it. So people use the pod for weight loss, for drug-free pain management. We're going to be getting some clinical studies here around pain management and mobility for athletes. We'd like to do a study around heat therapy for insulin uptake for diabetes. So there's a lot of different clinical applications of heat therapy. And that's why we created the Xena Therapies umbrella, because we've got all the cool therapy products, but wanted to be able to bring on new technologies as well. And since we're doing a Red Talk, I have to do a shout out to the Red Wing Port Authority. They actually approved the revolving loan program for us to be able to acquire our first 10 pods to move those from what were really wellness facilities into marketing them into more medical, physical therapy, chiropractic centers. So another great reason to be in Red Wing.
That's great. Shows a lot of partnership among the local economic development organizations and groups in the region, and we're fortunate to all have one another. So if someone was very intrigued by that pod, are there healthcare providers in the area that they could, reach out to?
Yeah, we're actually looking for a partner in Red Wing that wants to have a pod there. Again, that was another issue with COVID, where we launched this company and got the approval from the Port Authority back in April, but you couldn't put new technologies into any place because people weren't going into places, people were masked, they weren't looking at bringing in anything new that they didn't already have. So now we're really just ramping up this business as well. So if there's somebody in Red Wing that wants to try it, and if they want to do a clinical study too, we'll also place a pod someplace for 3 months while we gather clinical data. So there would be an opportunity to partner with us too if they're interested in doing some research as well as treating their patients.
What an exciting collaborative opportunity for a local manufacturer and a local healthcare provider to come together and demonstrate what the technology can do for their patients. So if anyone knows anyone that's listening, that would be a great connection for Tammy Lee.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a really cool piece of equipment. So clearly you're not making that piece of equipment at your manufacturing facility.
We actually have co-manufacturing rights, so we have component pieces. And that's important because as we do clinical testing, we want to bring them under our FDA GMP, good manufacturing practice approval, to be able to take the pods into more medical applications. So that's really important for us to be able to do that. So we do some final assembly, but the plant that makes these is actually up in Bloomington, Minnesota, that sources most of the parts, and we've got a license from them.
Nice. Yeah, not a small thing to move around. Obviously, you want to be very careful when you're moving your pod from manufacturer to facility. Okay, so let's talk about new ideas. So your team, you must be thinking all the time about the industry that you're in and how to add additional products. So where do you get your ideas? Are you something with your team, organizations you belong to? Like, what are you dreaming about and how do you come up with those ideas for your company?
Yeah, well, some of it is, it depends on the brand too. So if we're in the Opal brand, the reason that we decided to kind of take the risk on the tooling for the eye mask is we knew that this was a price point of an item that women would buy for gifts, for each other, for themselves, for self-care. And we are really hoping that something like this might be picked up by a national retailer or even a health and beauty skincare line. And we've had some conversations with national brands that might be skincare companies, either in menopause or just in health and beauty, that are looking for line extension, other products. So if I'm adding a new product, I'm always thinking about who's the channel that we can sell into for that. With the vest, the brand new Pro Vest, that can be sold to pro athletes. It can go to orthopedic surgeons, operating rooms, manufacturing, anybody that's in public service, with police, military, firefighter. So that's got a lot of different markets. So I also think about where is the most market share that we could capture and how many different verticals can we get in. And some of them just come out of really fun ideas, like the Gal Pals. These are the cooling bra inserts that are great for women that are breastfeeding, or just women that run hot in general that are going through menopause, or some moms wear them while they're watching their kids play soccer or softball. So this just came out of an idea. Bob, our plant manager, Bob Everett, and his wife Wendy actually designs all the products that we have. So he had somebody that was talking to him about wanting to create like boob coolers or hooter coolers. And we thought, well, that would be kind of fun to do. So we actually invented these products on our own. These are brand new, exclusive to Opal, created the design for them, and then went to market. And this is our best seller. It's also the lowest price point. There's a 4-pack for $24. So people can try our products and how the technology works. And we sell a lot of these, and we're looking to take these into a national retailer as well. So we're in those conversations too. But you need a name that's not boob cooler or hooter cooler. You need something that I can stand on stage and talk about. So that's why they're the Gal Pals, which is a name that everybody gets what that means. And, we can still have a little fun with it. We call them your new breast friends. So you can have a little fun with it, but still be tactful and tasteful.
Yeah, super cute. I would think that both that and the eye mask product would be great for specialty retail and boutique retail. And so have you considered that? And have you thought about kind of the wholesale gift world where, packaging obviously is an important piece of what they're looking for, but they'd be great in just the right mixed, feminine focused gift store.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that those are the kind of verticals that we want to get into. We've had conversations with national massage chains, places like that. That would be great to get the products into. It would be great to get into like all the hospital gift shops too. So those are the kinds of targets and specialty stores that you mentioned, Shannon, that we're really thinking about for 2021. And we've had some pretty extensive conversations with national retailers too. That's a situation though where after like just struggling to stay alive, if we get an order like that, that's like 50,000 of these. That means we'd have to make like 200,000 or 400,000 of these products. And then it's kind of like the dog caught the car. Like, how do we even do that? We don't have that capacity yet, but with that kind of order, we figure it out.
It's the curse of the Shark Tank. I mean, there's people think that what could be better. Well, it isn't. When your website crashes and you can't deliver product, then it's not such a gift or such a dream. But so that product, for example, how long does it take start to finish for you to manufacture the Gal Pal?
So we actually cut off site at a place in Oakdale. So we've got a day of like where we'll do all the cutting for the poly and the fabric. With the Gal Pals, they require 2 runs through the machine. So the first run, we actually get the poly, the plastic onto the fabric, and then we have to fill them. And then we do a second seal of them to create the shape. And then they need to be punched out. These need to be punched out on the clicker cutter. All of the other products are already pre-cut. So we can probably run, easily 500 4-packs. So we could easily create like 2,000 of these in a day without running the plant too hard. As we get bigger, we probably would just add other machines, maybe run a second shift. So we've got a good amount of capability and capacity right now. Some of the other products are a lot more difficult to make or bigger to make, take more time. So every product has a little bit of a production cycle.
Sure. Do you have the space you need? I mean, where you physically are located, which I've not visited yet, but look forward to be able to take on the kind of growth. Obviously you can run multiple shifts, but you feel good about your physical space and what it can do for you in the coming years?
Yeah, it's great for where we are today. And we're over in the kind of the tile road area. So we're over there. And it's great. It's perfect for us right now. We have a lot of our space taken up with fabric and WIP, so work in progress. So things that are in the production cycle that we could move elsewhere to and continue to grow there. So there are all kinds of ways that we could reconfigure and continue to grow where we are.
Yeah, that's exciting. We have one question that's asking about any new products or distributors this summer, including any local retailers. Do you see anyone right here in the area being able to carry your product?
No, actually, I'd love to have a local distributor there. I know that with all the excitement around the new cruise ships that are going to be coming and stopping in Red Wing, people are talking about Red Wing stores, like with Red Wing products, and I would love to be able to do that. We are actually going to have space up in the new Dayton's project up in Minneapolis. There's that new,
Exciting. Yeah.
and they're really featuring Minnesota-based companies. So we'll have the Opal and Onyx products there too. But really, we couldn't get into, again, with COVID, retailers weren't taking in new products. So if there's anybody in Red Wing that wants to become our preferred distributor or reseller, we're looking for partners.
That's really, really exciting. What would you say, this is a hard one. What would you say has been your most satisfying moment in business? If you had to pick one or two or even three, like what those moments where it just feels so fulfilling and you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, so like yesterday was a great day because we had most of the employees back in the plant, running the new cool vest, the pro vest, figuring out how to make that product work, prototyping, playing with the machine, adjusting the fluid fill. That's really fun because everybody feels like they're part of it and everybody contributes good ideas to it. So new product launches with the team are always my favorite days of the plant. Second favorite day is when we're shipping out like 8,000 orders. So when we're like Good Morning America,
Yeah.
we'll have thousands of products go out the door and everybody's running around and packing and shipping. And I'll look at my Apple Watch and I'll have like 25,000 steps on for that day because we're literally running in the plant trying because you've got to get everything shipped out in 2 days. So that's really fun because the whole team is pulling together and working in the same direction. And that's exciting. And then third would be when we come up with a new product like the Gal Pals, which has just been such a resounding success. And I hope the eye mask and the cool vest will kind of follow in that.
Anything keep you up at night as an entrepreneur? I think it can be a very lonely path at times, very overwhelming path. It's about the least direct path of any, I think, out there. It's very circular, and then you're over here, and then you're over here, and then you're down here. But as so many entrepreneurs are just looking for tips and ideas and ways to keep going. Is there something that kind of nags at you or has kept you up through the years in this journey?
Oh yeah, I mean it's making payroll. I mean when you're an entrepreneur and you're the CEO and everybody's livelihood is dependent on you, that's a big responsibility. And also, we got to pay our landlord, we got to pay for equipment rental, and I've never ever missed a payment, so I feel really good about that. Just even through all the challenges we've been in COVID. So it's really, I mean, it's that responsibility that keeps me up at night. And there've been many times where we needed to get the GMA deal, we had to get on QVC. If we hadn't kept working hard to make those things happen, we'd be in a very different space right now. And so I tell people who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs, you've got to love your idea and believe in it so much that you're willing to put everything on the line because it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. But when things work, there's also nothing more rewarding than creating your own destiny and path forward.
I think people are often fascinated by what the work day is like. Are your work days never the same, or is there some kind of an average-ish day that you would walk us through what an average day is like in the life of Tammy Lee?
Yeah, there's never 2 days that are the same. Like yesterday, we were in the plant prototyping the new Pro Vest. At the same time, we were packing and shipping 144 orders for 40boxes.com because we're selling eye masks like crazy. And then we had to stop to make more eye masks because we were selling out. So we had to switch to that. And then we got an order in for 40 bags from a hospital on the East Coast, and we had to like make product and ship. And then today I'm not in the plant because we were running it hard yesterday. But today I had to get some stuff together for the Pro Vest. And I was working on a Groupon promo for the new Warms Pod and new branding and website for that. And then working with another national TV show to see if we can get our products on there. So every day is different. And I can't have, there's nobody that I can delegate marketing to or this other stuff to. You have to do everything really in the company. Not that I don't have great people, because I do. And there's one employee who is full-time every day that is in the plant every day shipping things. But yeah, it's a different ride every day. And it doesn't end at 6 o'clock. It ends at 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
And yeah, and a couple things I would say about that is I think it can be really overwhelming for an early stage entrepreneur to hear that, in that they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know about marketing, or I don't know about manufacturing, or and so in a way you do become kind of an expert in many things, in a lot of ways. But I think that can be really scary for someone that has a passion about whatever this particular product or service is, and then they think, well, how could I ever do all of it? How could I ever be good at everything? Do you have any advice for just those folks starting out thinking, I could never do all of that?
Yeah, so I also know what I'm not good at. And so I've got a partner who is really good at the manufacturing side and looking at what we need to order and when. And the Katie, who's the office manager and customer service person, always has a good handle on what's in inventory, what's in WIP, and making sure that we're not running out of elastic or fabric or other things. So you have to delegate. You need to find people that are good at that. I am not the person that loves to work Excel spreadsheets, but I have who was CFO for us, who still acts as like an acting CFO, but she only needs to work, so many hours a week, and she's got another full-time job. So also finding the people that can fill in those gaps is really important. But it's entrepreneurship is an area where you just have to love it so much, and you cannot give up or call it quits. I mean, at some point, some people have to, but I tell people who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs, if they haven't listened to the NPR podcast, How I Built This with Guy Raz, it's 359 episodes of all the struggles of entrepreneurs and everything that goes wrong. And I would tell everybody who wants to start their own business, listen to at least 10 of those, because you need to be prepared for all the crazy stuff that's going to break and go wrong. And their stories are all similar in that there's so much perseverance. They just would not give up. And finally, their ability to persist and keep going, in that determination for the D in Red Talks, it finally worked.
It's pretty amazing. I think that even though we talked a little bit about it can be a very lonely journey, and often you just feel completely by yourself in it, obviously there have been significant people along your path, mentors or others, that have helped you, be as successful as you are. Is there anything you would talk about from a kind of a mentoring or a guide, that made a difference for you in your career?
Yeah, and I think it's the people who, I feel like I always got breaks and opportunities to do things because I always raised my hand. I would always sign up for things that I wasn't quite ready for and kind of fake it till you make it. But I always would volunteer for new hard assignments. And I think that opened up a lot of doors for me. But as I said before, the other key thing is really filling in your own gaps. Nobody can be good at everything. So finding people that are complementary to you. When I was CEO at Recombinetics, I built a team around me that they were all really great at what they did. And I got to do what I was best at and be out on the road and doing sales and marketing and raising capital. So actually being okay admitting that nobody's good at everything and finding the right partners along the way.
Yeah, that's great advice. How about 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, kind of where you see or where you'd like to be with your company in the future? What you dream about for it?
Yeah, well, I hope this year we can get close, close to break even. I don't know if we'll get there because we're, already in July and we had a rough start with COVID. Next year, I think we'll be profitable, and we've got a lot of products that we're rolling out. I'm very bullish and I'm very optimistic, as I think you've probably picked up. So We're going to be doing some really big trade shows this year. We're going to this Made in America Manufacturing Conference trade show, which I think will be great for our products. We're also going to go to the biggest safety conference in the country and really demo the new cool ProVest and some of our other products. And then I want to get back into some women's health conferences and look at the National Menopause Conference and other things like that. So I think getting back out and telling the story is important. This year, I also really want to figure out how we land a national retailer for some of the products that we've talked about and what that looks like. So that this year is kind of continuing to cultivate and plant all the seeds that we've been working on. Next year, profitability, and hopefully the following year is just the rocket ship. And I've got a rocket ship here. I got a rocket ship ready to go.
So I wasn't thinking of this earlier, but in that pod, like how long is there an average session in that heat pod?
Yeah, most people do a 30-minute session, and you can set the temperature that you want. So you can do from low heat, which is more like a power nap, and it's really relaxing, to high hyperthermic, where you burn a lot of fat and calories in a 30-minute session. And your face is outside the pod, so there's cooling air fans that are blowing on it. So it's really comfortable and relaxing. And I recommend that people have an Opal eye mask on while they're laying in the pod, or you can play on the screens. There's all kinds of motivational things that you can watch on the screens. You can have your AirPods on, listening to how I built this if you want to be an entrepreneur, or just relax. So there is all kinds of ways that you can have a pod session and experience that, but you really control it. And it's 30 minutes of however you want to experience this warm heat therapy.
Well, it's really fascinating. And I think that it would be so exciting if you could find a place for the pod in Red Wing and a retail outlet so that people can easily right here in this community go and see and purchase your products and experience them for yourself. So I hope that there'll be a lot of good things that come out of this, but I hope that might be one of them, that anyone that might see this or live or in the future would have those connections for you. I certainly will be thinking about some of the people I know that are in the gift industry, because I think it's an amazing fit for so many kinds of stores, which just says so much about the product.
Yeah,
well,
there's
so many
and we would love to find a partner there, and it could be in a chiropractor, it could be in a physical therapist, it could be in a massage. It could be in a hotel that wants to offer other wellness and therapeutic sessions where they might offer massage or other things. It could be in a gym. It could be in a medical clinic. There are all kinds of different places that it would work to have it in Red Wing. If I had any more space, I'd create we were talking about creating a little space at the plant, but that would be distracting from all the other stuff we're doing right now.
Yeah, for sure. Are you connected? Do you feel connected to the Red Wing business community, the Manufacturers Association? Your peers really that are doing some general similarities in the work that they do? And do you find that helpful to be connected?
Yeah, it's a great community. We hosted the Red Wing area manufacturers in March. I think it was one of the first time. It was their very first in-person meeting since COVID. And we had like 20 people show up. They said they could not believe the attendance. And I don't think it's because I'm so interesting or my products are so interesting. They hadn't seen anybody for a year and a half. They couldn't wait to get out again. So it was really fun. We did a plant tour. We showed them our products. We are members of the chamber, and the chamber is now just starting to do things again. I think they're opening back up. So I think there are going to be all kinds of ways to plug in, but I haven't been as plugged in just because of the pandemic. We opened in February, closed in March, and now everybody's getting back to business. Everybody's reopening again. So opportunities like this are a great way to get better connected in the community.
Your products are impressive and exciting, and they just seem to be cutting edge for so many applications. But are there competitors? Are there people doing what you're doing in other places, trying to make what you're making? And tell us a little bit about patents or protection that you have on your designs. And
yeah, so nobody's really using phase change material like we are for Cool Therapy that's put into a durable wearable product that's designed really to be a garment or wearable product. There are people that have use phase change material, made them like into pockets or pods. And there's a competing vest that has a PCM pocket or pod that it looks like a fishing vest. So they just slide them in and out. It's not the same experience and not the same sort of, I think, quality as the products that we have. But I think what's unique is how we make these is really part of the trade secret. Other people haven't figured out how to do what we're doing with fabric and poly and PCM. So I think that gives us, it's more the trade secret protection, like that really keeps other competitors out of the game. Plus, it's really expensive to get into. I mean, it's expensive to get the equipment and manufacture, and startup costs are a barrier for a lot of people to enter the market. And it takes a lot of experience, and we've got the right team at Red Wing who knows how to make the product, knows the right amount of fluid to put in. So it would be difficult to replicate. We do have a license to the patent on the the cool wrap for menopause, which is more of a methods patent. And there's a patent that's been filed on the cool pad. Actually, it's been filed for male infertility. So men who are experiencing, and couples that are experiencing infertility will sit on the cool pad for a couple hours a day, and they've had their sperm count increased by up to 20%. So there's a patent that's been filed for that use of this technology too. But really, we make the product and is the secret sauce for kind of protects us.
Well, we are awfully proud of your secret sauce, and it's been just delightful to hear more about your products and your story. And so amazing that you're here in this charming, beautiful little river town and are so willing to give of your time, your experience, your resources. It's just so welcoming and inviting. And entrepreneurs are busy and you have a lot going on. So I can't thank you enough for sharing what you have today. And I hope that we'll continue to get to do some work with you in this entrepreneurial space and manufacturing space with our work here at Red Wing Ignite. But is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we wrap this up?
Well, Shannon, just a big thank you to you and Stacy for having us on the show today and the opportunity to talk to both of you and share our story. And something great always comes out of one of these talks. You never know what it's going to be, but there's always some fabulous connection that happens. And I'm like, that would have never happened if I hadn't done a Red Talk. So I just can't wait to see what the fabulous thing is that comes out of this talk today.
Yeah, well, we sure appreciate you and your company, and congratulations on what you've done in such a short period of time. And I think the next couple of years are going to be just so successful and so amazing for you, with so many applications. And I hope we can find some of those Red Wing connections and get things out in this area for people to have access to easily.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Tammy, so much for your time today. And thank
you, Tammy.
Thank you both for your time today. And thanks for all you're doing for Red Wing and all of us that are in business there.
Takes a village. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here today. Have a good afternoon. Yep, it's all shut off, Stacy.
Okay, we have all of our attendees out of the room and everything is shut off on Facebook. So thank you, Tammy. That was really interesting. Loved hearing about what you have going on.
Well, thank you for having me. As I said, it's sincere. It's something fabulous always comes out of these. You never know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something.
Well, it's very inspiring, and I'm so excited that you're part of this community, and you should be so proud of what you've created. And it's just going to be a great year, and next year will be even better. So we look forward to seeing you in person one of these days soon, Tammy.
That sounds great. Thank you both.
Have a good night.
The next thing we'll do at the plant.
You bet. We will. We'll take you up on that. All right.
Okay,
have a good afternoon. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Okay.